Okay, so let's start. I have here a picture of BTS and I have also here a picture of Blackpink. Now I know some of you loves BTS or Blackpink and some of you also don't like both, right? So whatever you want, we should respect each other's choice. Now, we have our own preferences, but we need to respect the choice of others. Respecting others helps us feel and express ourselves. Now, let's assume that 13, let me write here, 13 love BTS and 14 love Blackpink. And of course, 9 don't like any of the two out of 36 students. So there are 36 students and 9 don't like any of the two. Okay. Now, if we are going to compare these numbers, we have, for example, what is or compare the students who love BTS to to students who love Blackpink. So we can say that is 13 is to 14. If you're going to compare students who like BTS to the students who like Blackpink, we can say it is 13 is to 14. If we have also students who don't like any of the two, if you're going to compare the students who don't like any of the two, we can to the total number of students, we can say 9 is to 36. Now, this comparison is called ratio. Okay, what is ratio? When you say ratio, it is a comparison of between two or more quantities, and this quantity, each quantity is called term. So if we have, for example, again, we have here 13 is to 14, each term which is the 13, and another term which is 14. Order is very important in naming ratio because each number in a ratio corresponds to a certain quantity being identified. So again, for example, if the question is, what is the ratio of those who love BTS to those who love Blackpink? So you would say 13 is to 14 and do not interchange the two. So you cannot say 14 is to 13 because 13 only love BTS and 14 loves Blackpink. So that's what it means when you say order is very important in ratio. Now, there are 4 ways in writing a ratio. We have here phrase form. You can say 9 is to 16. You can write it with a word is to. You can also write it in colon form, 9, colon, and then 16. You can also write it in division form, 9 divided by 16. Or a fraction form, which is 9 over 16. So basically, these are just the same. So the only difference is the way in writing the ratio. Now, take note that in writing a ratio, there should be no unit. Ratio should always be expressed in simplest form. In simplifying a ratio, divide the numerator and the denominator by their GC. Let me give you more examples about ratio. Let's express each ratio into a fraction or column form. Simplify to its lowest. We have 72 over 64. So this is in fraction form. We're going to change it in column form, but of course we need to get the lowest term. For the lowest term, we just use the continuous division method. We have 72 and then 64. Get their GCF. We have 8. This one is 9. And this one is 8. So there's no common factor between the two. So this is now our answer, 9 and 8. If you're going to write it in column form, you can write 9 9 is to 8. So that is the answer. Next, we have your 55 is to 45. Now this time it's in column form, so let's change it into a fraction form. And of course, again, we need to get the lowest term by using continuous division method. So we have 5, this is 11, and this is 9. There is no common between the two. Therefore, we write, since this is in column, we make it into a fraction form. So the answer is 11 over 9. Next, we have 25 over 60. So there is a common between 25 and 60. So we still get the lowest term. We have 5, this is 5, this is 12. So no common between 5 and 12. Therefore, since it's in fraction form, we write it in column form. 5 is to 12. That's the answer. Next, we have 5 years to 1 decade. Now another thing, if you compare or get the ratio, like in this example, you need to express the two quantities in the same unit. Now you can rename the years and make it a decade, or you can rename the decade into a year. So it's easier for us to just rename the decade. So we have 5 years. 5 years is to how many years in 1 decade? It is 10 years. Okay, so if you're going to compare, they have already the same unit, then we can write it as a form of a fraction form, which is 5 over 10, or we can have 5 is to 10. But these two terms have a common factor, so we need to get the lowest term. We have 5, and then this is 1, this is 2. Therefore, you can write it as 1 over 2, or 1 is to 2. So that is the simplified form of 5 years to 1 decade. Next, 20 seconds to 1 minute and 10 seconds. Since we're talking about 2 units here, we have seconds and minutes. We need to express this in the same unit. So 20 seconds is to, in 1 minute there is 60 seconds plus the 10 seconds here, so the total is 70 seconds. Okay, so if you're going to write it in a fraction or column form, it could be 20 over 70 or 20 is to 70. Now these two terms have common factor, so we can get the lowest term. We have 10, and this is 2, and this is 7. So no common between 2 and 7. Therefore, the simplified form of 20 seconds to 1 minute 10 seconds is 2 over 7, or 2 is to 7. Next, we have here 30 days to 7 weeks. It's the same. We need to make it the same unit. So we have 30 days to, in 1 week there are 7 days, right? And then since it is 7 weeks, so 7 times 7, it's 49 days. Then this is 30 over 49 for the fraction form, or 30 is to 49. Now let's see if this 2 has common factor. We have 2, cannot be. We have 3, no, cannot be. We can also simplified to 4, or a common factor which is 4, no, 5. So therefore, the answer here is there is no common between 30 and 49 other than 1, and the answer is 30 over 49, or 30 is to 49. Now, we have 1 dozen eggs to 18 eggs. So in 1 dozen, we have 12 eggs, right? So we have 12 eggs. We can rename that into 12 eggs to 18 eggs. It's easier for us to convert or rename the 1 dozen to the 18 eggs and then convert into a dozen. Okay, it can have a decimal number. So if we have 12, for the fraction form, it will become 12 over 18, or 12 is to 18. Then since there are common factor between 12 and 18, we have here, let's get the lowest term. We have 2, 6, 9, you have 2 and then 3. So there's no more common between 2 and 3. The answer would be 2 over 3 or 2 is to 3.